That's all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate those kind remarks. And it is true. I started my first construction job when I was 15. My dad was a bricklayer and business manager for the bricklayers, and he wanted to take the family on a vacation. He figured it's a good idea for me to go to work and bring some more money in to help pay for that vacation. But I was also a big kid when I was 15, and my buddies liked the fact that I could get served at the beer store as well. So that's another story on its own. It's great to be here, and it's great to see such a good crowd here today. This is record attendance. This is most attendance we've ever had for Canada's Building Trades Conference. So thank you. Thank you very much. You know, and over the past year, I've gone across the country. I've been to every province. I've met with many of you here in the room. I've gone to several job sites, and that inspires me every day to see the dedication that is exemplified by every one of you in the room and of our trades members and union members who are working on the job sites every day. I've seen the dedication and focus to our industry. I've seen the work that's been done in our training centers and talked to training instructors and the passion that they bring to the job. I've talked to owners and contractors and clients to discuss the issues and challenges that we face as an industry. And I know that as an industry, we will continue to focus on building jobs for tomorrow, building jobs for today, and well into the future. We've done this. We've done this for well over 100 years. And this is what we do as building trades. We adapt, we move with the times, we adapt new technologies, we respond to changes in constructability, and we deliver. That's what building trades do. We deliver. You know, you've heard from Minister O'Regan and Minister Fraser and President McGarvey and Chairman Kucherin and a couple others about the great year we've had this past year. And the great year that we've had this past year. And while I certainly appreciate the accolades, we could not have achieved these successes without the support of the extended CBTU team. And I'd like to thank a few people before I get into some of the specifics of my Canadian report. I'd like to thank the Canadian Executive Board who have been steadfast in their leadership and have supported us in every step of the way. We have really changed the culture at Canada's building trades unions, and the Canadian Executive Board have been there, been dedicated, having the meetings and meeting with parliamentarians whenever requested. So I thank you very much to the Canadian Executive Board. Thank you. Yeah. From NAB2, from President McGarvey and from Secretary Treasurer Brandon Bishop. Unfortunately, Brandon couldn't be here today, but you will be seeing him in the near future. Sean has been resolute in his support of Canada's building trades unions, and the team at NAB2, Mike Monroe and his team at NAB2, have been there every step of the way. And I can say when I first joined and asked for support, and with Brandon's predecessor, Brent Booker, who is now the General President for LIUNA, whatever you need, man, whatever you need. And that has continued, and the support from NAB2 has really being appreciated. So thank you very much to the officers and all the team at NAB2. I'd also like to thank our provincial building trades councils. I think all of you are here in the room today with maybe the exception of one. It's really important in a federation like Canada that we work with our provincial leaders. And our provincial leaders have been really good to work with. They have been supportive, and I think we have reciprocated as Canada's building trades unions to support our provincial councils as well. It's a little bit of a different dynamic in each province as you go across the country in terms of market share, in terms of work opportunities, and have different challenges with competition in different parts of the country. But we have found a way to work together. And I thank you, each and every one of you, very much for the support that you've given us, and I hope you feel that you have received the same support in kind. We have great leaders in this room, and we have great leaders at our provincial councils. Also, of course, I'd like to thank the CBTU team. The team has been growing, and that's where a lot of your penny goes, to help support our activities and to hire new people. So here's some members of the CBTU team. You'll see here have helped you with the registration. I'd also like to thank a special member of our team who we recognized last year on her retirement, but she's decided to stick around and help us with the conference this year, and that's Asunta Testa as well. So please, a big round of applause for the CBTU team. They do a great job, and I thank you. I thank each and every one of you for this conference and all that you do. And in terms of the Canadian report, if you've heard me speak a number of times across the country and at various events, I always talk about our strategic plan, and I think it's important to have a very strong strategic plan, and that's one of the first things that I did with the support of the Canadian Executive Board was to develop a strategic plan where we defined our mission as really twofold: to advocate for public policy, and work opportunities that benefit our members and improves the living and working conditions for construction workers right across Canada. So public policy and work opportunities. And I'm proud to say that through the work and support of the Canadian Executive Board, the CBTU team, and everyone here in the room, that kind of laser-like focus has risen the voice of each and every one of you in the halls of Parliament and in the parliamentary halls right across this country. So having that laser-like focus has really elevated the influence that we have right here in Ottawa. And with that influence comes responsibility and an opportunity that we take seriously. You have heard some of the challenges that have been laid before us by cabinet ministers. You're going to hear a few more. So we have received a lot of benefit from the government, but in return, we have to deliver on some of the challenges that our industry faces. In terms of some of the achievements that we have had over the past year, we were able to double the UTIP funding to $84.2 million over 4 years. We are able to secure an additional $250 million in the new sustainability stream over the next 5 years. We'll have more work to do in that sustainability stream. We'll be working with ESDC and Minister Qualtrough and her team. You'll hear from Minister Qualtrough a little bit later. And we are also working on bricks and mortar funding for UTIP. Bricks and mortar funding for UTIP. So I think, yes, absolutely. I think that's going to be something that is going to be very well received by our union halls and will help us improve and enhance our capacity to upgrade our journey people and to train more apprentices for the future. We were also very successful in receiving a $48 million grant for In the Trades. And that announcement was made at the Liuna Hall right here in Ottawa. And this is a program where we're able to incentivize unionized contractors to hire a Red Seal first-year apprentice. They're able to get $5,000 when they hire that first-year Red Seal apprentice. $10,000 if that apprentice comes from an equity-deserving group. So this is a fantastic opportunity for us to grow our industry and improve our diversity. And there's many unions in this hall who are participating. There are a few who are not. And we have a team in place to help those who aren't participating to join into this fantastic program to help grow your workforce. And I'd like all the members of the In the Trades team that are in the room to please stand. So thank you. Yes, have a round of applause. So stay standing. Have a look at those people. They have a booth out there. Have a look at those people. And if you want to learn more about this program and how you're in Union Hall, if you're a contractor, if your contractor association want to learn more about this program, please visit the booth and seek these people out, and they will share with you the great news of the In the Trades program. Thank you. And the great news is that so far we have distributed over $2 million in grants to unionized contractors right across the country from coast to coast. 253 Red Seal apprentices. 50% of program participants are from equity-deserving groups. Our target was 20%. We have 50% from equity-deserving groups. This program is helping us to diversify. We have partnered with Skill Plan and there's 19 programs like this across the country. We're one of 19. But one of the differentiators between us and the other program are that we are mandating that these apprentices take courses on mentorship and diversity and inclusion. This is the union value proposition. And through that program and partnership with Skillplant, we have delivered over 900 courses to those 273 Red Seal apprentices. So thank you very much for the unions and your support of that. We also have other workforce development initiatives that you're very familiar with. The Office to Advance Women Apprentices, which is in year 5 now and has been rolled into our In the Trades program. Our Construction Trades Hub, where we're working with Skillplant and our provincial councils to encourage more people to come into the trades. And also our Building It Green program, where we are helping develop with national training directors, training modules for all of our union halls so we can help improve climate literacy amongst our members and amongst our apprentices and share with them the tremendous opportunities that exist ahead of us in our drive to net zero. And I encourage you to go to our website and to learn more about these programs. I'd like to talk a little bit about labor supply. You heard Minister Fraser here this morning, and I know that this is a challenging issue for us. And we have labor supply availability challenges by different trades in different regions of the country, but not all trades and not all regions. In some areas, we still have some unemployment. In other areas, we need more workers. So how do we work with the federal government to make sure that we get this labor demand model right? And so we are working with the federal government in terms of this transition to net zero and through the Sustainability Secretariat that they're about to form, that when we lose jobs in traditional oil and gas, and they're going to be replaced with the new jobs of the new energy sources of the future, SMRs, carbon sequestration, new nuclear, hydrogen, renewables, and so on, that we have a sophisticated model so that we understand what the labor market profile is going to be like. Because many of us in this room have experienced where we have, brought in hundreds and sometimes thousands of new apprentices for work that's to be ahead of us, but then the work does not present itself, and then you're left with a union hall where you have a lot of members and not a lot of work. So it's really important for us to get this right, and the government is committed to working with us to get it right and developing sophisticated labor management or labor market demand profiles so we can manage this transition. But the long game here, the long game, and you've heard it from the ministers, and you heard it from President McGarvey, is that we need more people. And I'm not just saying it, I'm seeing it. And you're going to hear from people today or tomorrow going to talk about hydrogen and carbon sequestration. In Newfoundland alone right now, there are 19 proposals for hydrogen facilities. In Cape Breton, there's 2 proposals for LNG facilities. In Alberta, we have the Dow Chemical Project, we have Air Products, we have carbon sequestration to come. In BC, we have natural gas. We look at LNG Canada and the potential for that to double in size. The work picture, brothers and sisters, is robust. And this is the challenge that the government has laid before us. They have put in place a lot of initiatives and made a lot of investments, so now we need to supply. So in order for us to supply, we have to look at immigration. And we have to look at ways in which, sorry, the slide deck is giving me a hard time. We have to look in ways in which we can make the immigration system work for us. So we're taking this seriously. We partnered with Abacus Data. We've done a survey with all our Canadian directors. We identified where the workers are, where we need the workers, what trades we need. And then we're going to go to Minister Fraser, as you heard me say earlier today, and say, okay, this is what we need. How do we get them into the country? And not only how do we get these tradespeople into the country, but how do we get them into our union hall so we can grow our industry and supply the demand that's going to be put upon us by our contractors. So that's the big challenge before us, so we need each and every one of you to help with that. So we've got to prioritize the immigration of skilled trades workers. We also have to look at changes to the temporary foreign worker program. We all know the challenges of the temporary foreign worker program. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for us. It's not a sustainable approach to staffing construction projects. And so we've got the attention of the Temporary Foreign Worker Program Secretariat and the Director General, and we started a pilot project in Lower Mainland BC with the ironworkers and a couple other trades to look at a pilot project to adjust the labor market impact assessment and figure out a way, potentially using a group of employers approach where unions and our employers work together to get temporary foreign workers into the country, into our union halls, find them a path to citizenship so we can meet the demands of the construction industry into the future and leverage that program to make it work for us and grow our market share. So that is what we're doing on the approach to immigration. And of course, cross-border mobility is something we've been working on for quite some time. We'll continue to work on that with our colleagues at NAB2. So it's very important that we work together collaboratively to make this happen. And I know it's not going to be easy, but this is the challenge before us, brothers and sisters, is to meet that labor supply challenge. Some other wins, the tradespeople tool deduction. This is fantastic. This is another example of how the government supported us, doubled from $500 to $1,000 and eligible in the 2023 tax year. For over 30 years, and you know you've heard me say this before, but this is a victory that I'm going to keep on saying for a long time because we've been working on it for a long time, and we were able to build on the shoulders of all the other people who've come before us in the CBTU team and the Canadian Executive Board. We finally got this done, and in 2023, our members were able to claim up to $4,500 for travel costs to go to and from work, not covered by a living out allowance. This is a fantastic victory for our building trades brothers and sisters. Thank you. Sustainable jobs legislation, that will be coming soon. I referred to that a little bit earlier. There's going to be a lot of work here as we manage this transition from oil and gas to new energy sources of the future. Canadian Executive Board and representatives from the CLRAs across the country had a meeting with Minister Wilkinson yesterday. He gets it. He knows we're going to be at the table. He's going to put us at the table. We're going to manage this process every step of the way so we make sure that no worker gets left behind. Clean tech and clean hydrogen investment tax credits. This has happened in the recent budget. And so in response to the Inflation Reduction Act, the Canadian government is passing and will pass as soon as the budget's passed, legislation that will provide 30% for clean tech investments and 40% for clean hydrogen investments. And this is in response to the Inflation Reduction Act, which was a game changer for the world in terms of incentivizing this reindustrialization to the new economy of the future. And we worked hard with the government because when they had the fall fiscal announcement last year, which signals what they want to do in the budget, they talked about these clean tech tax credits. And they phoned us, phoned Canada's building trades union and say, look, we want to provide these tax credits to industry to build these new energy sources of the future, but we want to attach labor conditions to these tax credits. And this is something we've been advocating before because I've said to the government, I said, look, if you're going to provide billions of dollars, like billions, multiple billions of dollars, in incentives to the private sector to decarbonize their industry, and many of the private sector are publicly traded companies, have really strong balance sheets, profitable companies. If you're going to incentivize the private sector to decarbonize the economy, you better damn well make sure it's tied to creating good middle-class union jobs. And that's exactly what the government did, and that's exactly what we achieved for our members right across the country. %, in order to get that higher tax credit, 10%, the owner's got to sign off, 10% of all the workers on that job need to be apprentices. That's critically important. And the other thing is prevailing wage. We were able to achieve the definition of prevailing wage as the strongest definition of prevailing wage in Canadian history. The definition of prevailing wage is going to be based on union compensation, total union compensation, including benefits and pension contributions from the most recent widely applicable multi-employer collective bargaining agreement, or that which isn't contained in a PLA. This is our agreements. If you are an industry owner and you are going to decarbonize and you want to apply for that tax credit, you got to pay a union wage for the construction of your new project. This is a fantastic win for our contractors, a fantastic win for our members, and a fantastic win for all construction workers in Canada. All construction workers in Canada will have to be paid a union wage. So this has been a fantastic year for us. It's taken a lot of work. My team's done a lot of work, and in order to achieve it, we have to be ambitious and rigorous and vigorous on communications and on government relations, and we've done op-ed pieces in all the major dailies from coast to coast. We have done a new website with face-to-face meetings with Canadian Executive Board and members of the team. We have paid for social media advertising campaigns. We've done webinars. Our team's going flat out to deliver on our mission, and to focus on building jobs for tomorrow. It's critically important that we continue this effort to move forward. It's critically important that we maintain the support of everyone in this room. We have to have everyone and each one of your members for making the right choices, for supporting us. I'd like to thank all the business managers and local union staff who ensure that job calls are filled, member benefits are taken care of, and support there for the building trades. It is through your, yes, thank you, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. It is through your continued collaboration and solidarity that we've not only been able to strengthen the unionized construction industry, but produce some momentous wins that will improve not only our members' lives, but generations of skilled trades workers to come. Your financial support, your collaboration, your communication, that's what's made it all possible. We are stronger together than we are apart. Together, we are stronger. We will not let us be divided from without or from within. We are together. We are Canada's building trades unions. Value on display every day. Thank you very much.